About that. Welcome back to the channel. Using a different mic this week. My other one shit itself, so yeah, managed to get that up and underway. All right, might leave that off for the second just so you can hear me chatting. So just the usual track guide this week, guys, but for Sandown. So I've put a bit of a hot lap up already. Or not, it's about a tenth off my quickest time. I think I can get about another tenth on my quickest time, but we'll see what happens. Probably not going to happen in this session, but uh, as usual, I'll just do a quick run around the track, like a slow run, talk you through it real quickly, do a quick run, and then talk you through my quicker lap. And like it might not be exact line because Sandown's a little bit funny, you can go sort of all different ways, but what I think is the quickest line and just where I've made mistakes and stuff, just so you guys can correct it. But yeah, we'll get underway. I'll have the chat in the chat for anyone that's just got an alarm and has jumped in the chat. So as soon as I chuck my headset on, you'll be able to have a chat and yeah, I'll be able to see what you've got to say. So I'll just chuck that on there. I think I'm forgetting something I was gonna do, but
Thanks, Gary. No worries, buddy.
you guys can see that. But yeah, a little bit of flickering there. But anyway, we'll get underway here. In the VR again this week, guys. Can't thank Neil Waters enough for the headset. I'm really enjoying it now. Now that I've got it dialed in, I really appreciate it. But yeah, if anyone's after a headset, go to the old Player One Sim Gear, and Neil and the boys there will be able to help you out. But, so this is the first lap, guys. Just about between that white there, that's where I start braking. Pretty hard under brakes down through the gears quickly, down to third gear. Sweeping it right out to the curb there. Hit about this beginning of this road here, back to second, and I hit about there on the curb, take a big chunk out of this one. Just watch it can kick you. End of that left wall there. Just holding second nice and tight through here, and then just accelerating out as hard as you can. Try not to go over that ripple strip. Tend to get a little bit slippery on the RSN coming out of there. We'll let Maddie go past here, I think it is, Maddie. Yeah. All right, it's coming down the back straight here. This one can be a little bit tricky. If you're not 100% sure, brake and go down through your gear just before this lump, but I go just after and back a gear to fifth gear here. So I'll stay in the right gear, nice and tight through there, and then you can take a big chunk of this one if you want to, braking at that left road there, all the way back to second, and then coming through here and just taking a little nick off that curb just to straighten yourself out again. Powering out of here. Now this one can be a tricky, if you're overtaking, which might be a bit tricky, leave it late, but between the 100 and the 50 there, back to second, big chunk out of here, letting off the brakes before you hit the curb, and then tight here. So we'll try a quick one here, guys. I'll show you what it looks like in real time. Probably won't be as quick as my quickest time, but just give you a bit of a general idea, and then we'll walk through it on the quicker lap that I did earlier. Braking between on the white mark there, nice and quickly went down through the gears, letting off once you hit the curve. Don't sweep out that one. Off the brakes here, back in second. Oh. So it can kick you out. You just got to be real careful with that, guys. Going back through your gears, make sure you're rev checking correctly. This is a bit of a shit one. I might go through it and try not to talk so much. You really got to get that first section right to get yourself a good time for this track. And you got to remember, this is a quali lap again. This isn't what you do in the race. I'll probably talk you through that as well. So just after the hump there, braking back through the gears, nice and tight, big chunk, brake, get down the gears. Bit of a chunk out of that one. Don't lock up the back brakes. About between the 50 and 100 light, and then getting harder on the brakes, off the brakes before you hit that curb. We'll try another one. Want to get out of there as hard as you can. Just watch the RSN, can get a little bit slippery out of there as it is a bit bumpy. Alright. A bit later on this white wall is where I start going on the brakes and down the gears. I was a bit late on those ones. Nice and tight in here. Get your car right around that corner before you start accelerating, because you don't want to drift out too wide into that right wall. It gets slippery and it just, yeah, you don't get the acceleration out of that corner that you need.
Should have got in your way, Pete. Slowed you down.
Got the chat there, guys, if you want to jump in and say anything. Just over the hump, brake, down the gear, nice and tight. Big chunk out of this next one. Braking just before the road there. Under second, big chunk out of here. Accelerating out. Just a bit further past the half on this 5100. Off the brake, coast through, nice and tight on this one, accelerating out. That's lap in real time. Alright, I'll take you through the quicker lap I did earlier, just a bit slower so that you guys can see what's going on here, as I usually do. Alright, I'll get over here. Where's my... There it is. Laps. So I did a 107, almost a 107 flat earlier. My quickest is a 107, 106.9 at the moment, so that's not too bad. I'm just going to turn these guys down so I can have a chat. And turn that one down. Alright. So I'll go on this one. Go to the chase cam. Chase cam, chase cam, chase cam. Alright. I might just leave there, guys. I don't know if there's any flickering on your screen. There's a little bit of my chat. Yeah, feel free to jump in the chat, but I can see everything you're saying, guys. So let me know if there's anything I can fix or whatever. All right, so coming down the main straight here, just going over the start finish line, all the way up to 6th gear down the main straight here. Might just grab that. Yeah, so coming up to the first corner, you can see that red. I don't know if my mouse matches up on the screen because I'm in VR, but that first red grate sort of wall there, then it goes white, then red again. About halfway, if you're not, probably in the race, halfway, that's your braking marker. In the qualifying lap, I go a little bit later than half, just to get real hard on the brakes, save a little bit of time there. So yeah, from 6th gear, about halfway along the wall, all the way back down to 3rd, you want to get down the gears reasonably quick. I go 5th, 4th, 3rd, about that quick, maybe a little bit slower. Just to get into that 3rd gear and then getting off the brake. You just got to judge for yourself what is the right speed to go through there, so you're not washing out the front end. It does take a little bit of practice, but yeah, back to 3rd gear early and then off the accelerator early and just gradually on the accelerator and then powering out of that corner, as you'll see here. Back down to 3rd gear, hitting the apex and then accelerating out. Now coming down this one, as everyone knows, this is the biggest pain in the ass corner on the track, or corners on the track. All three of these ones are a pain in the butt. So at the end of this, I'll show you here, right there. So just pretty much at the start of this little dirt track on the left there, maybe a car length before, get on the brakes. You're still in 3rd, I just hold 3rd. So you're still in 3rd, back down to 2nd. So you want to brake about halfway through that dirt track, back down to 2nd, and then the curb's sort of hard here. I've taken a late curb, early curb. I found where the curb starts on the right there, just a little bit past it's where you want to hit your right tyre. Tends to get it reasonably smooth, as you'll see here. So we're in 2nd. So as you can see, I'm coming across and see how it lips up there on that curb there? It gives it more of a gradual, it doesn't give you that thump when you hit the curb and shoot the car up in the air. Jamie's done a real good job once again on the setup this week. So the suspension takes the curbs reasonably well, but yeah, probably about just a smidge out just at the end of that little blue bit on the curb there. You want to hit about there, right there where I've hit there, as you can see. And it shoots it up still, but it keeps it reasonably under control. Gets you across and takes a big chunk out of that curb, which knocks a bit of time off if you can keep your car steady. So you want to get off the brakes before you hit that curb. So you under brakes, under brakes, under brakes, off the brakes completely. Tends to keep the car straight. Shoot straight across for another big chunk out of this next curb. Just got to watch. You want to get around a little bit before you hit the next curb, but don't come around too much. It's going to lose the arse end, as you'll see here. See, I've sort of shot a little bit further across. Don't know how I did that. And then I've straightened out this one to sort of come out and not have to flick out once I get out of the corner and lose the arse end. But taking another big chunk out of here. See how you got that like 45 sort of hitting the curve there, 45. So it gives you a bit of a gradual. It's never going to be completely smooth through these corners, but that's what I've found is the smoother route for myself. Coming through here, taking a big chunk. See, once you come off that curb, if you've got too much acceleration, it will kick your arse end out completely. So it's a really good thump coming off that curb. So just watch that one that you're not too hard on the accelerator coming out of that one. So coming up this next one, I'm still in second, just at the end of this red wall on the left there. That's where I start to get off the accelerator and under brakes. Not too hard under brakes, but in a straight line as much as you can. But then I start to come across it for a little bit of an earlier apex, as you'll see here. See, you could hang out, but I've noticed it just knocked off shitloads of time. So what I've started to do is come across, just gradually on the brake, coming in really tight, hit my apex nice and tight, but a little bit earlier, but getting the car completely around the corner before I start accelerating, just so I'm not drifting right out over this curb coming out of the corner, as you'll see here. See, I'm coming right around, accelerating, and then I'm just hitting this curb. I'm not lipping my tyres up on there, as if you get your tyres up on there, it does tend to get a bit slippery, and you can hit that wall and cause yourself a whole lot of damage. But coming down the back straight here, feel free to jump in the chat if anyone's in the stream, guys. Let me know your opinion, anything I can improve on. Coming down the back straight here, once again, all the way up into 6th gear. Now, this can be a bit of a tricky one. Probably in the race, just to save tyres, I'm going to go at about the 50, just before that little lip that everyone knows about, that little dirt track there. There's a little lip. I'll get off the accelerator there, gradually on the brakes back to 5th, and then just, yeah, easing my way in nice and tight on the apex. Not too early on the apex, just past the start of the curb, keeping it nice and tight, just to maximize the speed through here. But on the quali run, I'll wait until I go over the dip, start getting on the brakes back to 5th, and then same line through the corner. As you can see there, so I went over the dip, on the brakes back to 5th, and then, yeah, that was probably a little bit early, but yeah, it tended to work because I came across as far as I could onto the curb there, and still help me get out of the corner there with as much speed as I can. This next one, you can take a big chunk. Just don't drop your left wheels over the left side of the curb, right side of the curb, sorry. Otherwise, you will get a penalty. I think that's about where the penalty marker is. So here, just being safe there, keeping my tyres, whoops, go back a little bit. Keep my tyres just inside there. Yeah, so coming over, and then just this road, just, yeah, well, pretty much just off the curb, but at that road is probably the latest you want to start braking. Try to keep yourself in a straight line, so just heading straight for that white fence there. Start to drift out a little bit to the right, just so you can maximize the room on the road, on the track, and then setting up your next corner. But that's what you want to do. Try not to brake and turn at the same time. Try to always brake in a straight line, as I say every week. So we're in 5th, back to 4th, back to 3rd, all the way back to 2nd, up for this corner. And real hard under brakes there. As you can see, I've like waited to the last moment to get under brakes, starting to lock the rears there. A little bit of a licorice mark on the low road there. So back to 2nd, I'm in a straight line there and starting to come across and hit my apex. So you want to just take a little curb. You can take a chunk out of this curb, pretty big one. Probably if you're racing someone, it might help, get a little bit of time on them. But to maximize speed for the quali lap, I tend to take just a little chunk, but like getting your car right around by the time you're hitting the curb and then accelerating out in a nice straight line there. It's coming around. Oh, a bit late on that one. Yeah, so that was completely wrong there, guys, as you can see there. So the way I talked you through it, so you want to come across more, take out more of this curb, and then get yourself a nice straight run out of there. This is probably where I lost the 10th, because my better time is a 10th quicker than this lap. So I think this is where I lost the time, as you can see, because I've gone a little bit wide there. Coming out of this one, still accelerating out nice and hard. Oh, okay, we're on the wrong lap. Well, I've talked you through the right way to do it right up until about there. I think I might have hit the, all right, we'll go for a little speed through the end here, and I'll just talk you through those last few corners. Wow, that was interesting. Wonder if I've hit this one right. Yeah, I have. There you go. All right. I knew I'd get it right in the end. All right, so coming across, just nicking that curb there. Yeah, there you go. And then coming out, just watch you bounce out of there. Can loosen up the arse end a little bit if you accelerate too hard, but getting a nice run out of there. Just try not to take too much of that. You can take that road on the right. Just watch your acceleration once you get to the end there. Can tend to kick the arse end out. I try to stay just on the curb there and then try to get back onto the road as soon as possible. Accelerating out. Now down to this last one, I'd probably say in the race between the 50 and the 100, right in the middle. Lightly under brakes and then harder as you approach the corner, but back to 3rd, back to 2nd. For the quali run, I'm a little bit closer to the 50 marker and hard under brakes. Quickly back through the gears, get into your 2nd before you hit the curb. back to third, back to second. Now with this one coming in again, it's like that first right-left chicane. You're coming across, you're hitting your curb, taking a big chunk out of the curb. But once again, you're under brakes, under brakes, under brakes. Once you, just before you're about to hit the curb, get off the accelerator, it tends to loosen the springs back up. So you're really hard, you're compressing the springs, you're coming up to the curb, then you're letting off them, and it just, yeah, releases the suspension, gets you over that curb nice and smoothly. And you're trying to keep as much mid-track to right side of the track as you can coming through this one. Nice and tight there, so as you come, it kicks you around a little bit, so it keeps you straightening out of that corner, which gets you a nice run into the next corner, the last corner. Nice and tight on the apex there, a little bit later, probably, well, that's a decent apex there. Nice and late on the apex, and then just accelerating out as hard as you can. Probably where Matty is, right there on the curb coming out. You want to hit about there, try not to go too much wider than that. You will lose too much time. Powering out of that one, down the straight as hard as you can, and that's a full lap, guys. I'll just let you run through it in the cockpit cam in real time, just so you guys can have a bit of a geezer. I'll try to keep my head straight. There you go, guys. Take that off. So coming, oh, we'll just get the right lap as well. Don't want to stuff that up again. All right, there you go, guys. Coming down the main straight once again. Over to the right here. Nice late braking area. They're pretty, about mid white wall there. Nice and tight on the apex. Accelerating out. Oh, that might have been the dodgy lap, maybe. We'll see what happens. Big chunk out of that one. Big chunk. Wants to kick that car a lot, as you'll see there. Nice late apex, get the car completely turned and accelerating out. This must be the right one. I'm chasing Matty here, so I think that was the right one. Down the back straight, staying over to the right here, just over the curb and back to fifth on the brakes. Oh, this might not be the right one. You get a bit tighter than that, guys. Probably wasn't on the brakes enough as much as what I wanted. Accelerating out of there. Yeah, about the half, 50 to 100. Keeping it nice and straight through here. See, I'm getting a bit loose. That's what's washing off the time here, guys. Getting a bit later on the brakes. That's not what you want to do. You want to keep it nice and smooth. So the smoother you can go, you probably heard people say smooth is faster. And it's completely right. Like, you've got to get your braking markers and your accelerator markers right, but smoother is faster. So always keep that in mind. You don't want to be losing the arse end, because especially over the course of a race, it chews your tyres too much. And yeah, once again, just not fast. Once you're chewing your tyres, you're going slower. So just take you through this one, just so you can see what the car's doing here. Hard on the brakes. Probably should get you that, I might just get that, if I can just pop my headset up here. Just go control function, F12 is it? If I can see the F12. Yep. Is that the one? Yep. I'll just give you a little bit of a side view of the car, because it tends to let you see what the car is actually doing, see what the tyres are doing and all that sort of thing. See how much compression you're getting on the suspension and all that sort of thing. Got to hit it again. Control F12. All right. Oh, control function. I got one of those funny keyboards. All right. So here we go. Oh, a little bit tweaky out of that one, so you got to watch that. Coming down into the corner, kicking that, it kicks the car up a lot. You just got to practice keeping that, yeah, keeping it under control. That was a bit of a rougher line through there, but it did keep the pace up. On your quali lap, you're just going flat stick. It's like pretty unpredictable, I've found. Like, you can hit a curb at one time and it'll do one thing, and then you hit it at the same place you think, and it'll just kick you a completely different way. So you just got to try to maintain a sense of stability, same routine every time, and just try to maximize that lap in that same routine. Once again, really good setup, Jamie. Really appreciate it, mate. Awesome setup as usual. Nice and late, big chunk out of this last one, straightening it out, maximising your run out of this last corner. Oh, and that's the wrong one again, but look, that gives you a rough idea, guys. I don't want to bore you too much, but that was the lap on the chase cam. I'll just boot back into the car here.